Dear Lord, I'd just like to thank you. I know I always start these off the same way, but Lord, I'm thankful all the time for you. I'm thankful I get to wake up every day. I'm thankful I get to learn about you more and more every day. I get thankful for my friends. I'm thankful for my boy John and the podcast that we get to do every week. Lord, I just like to ask that I know we're coming up on Thanksgiving. We're also coming up on Christmas time. Lord, I ask that you help people remember the true reasons why we get these luxuries in life and everything from freedom and for the freedom to talk about you and just be able to make a better relationship with you. Lord, I also ask that you look over me and my friend group and my family. As also my wife, with her being pregnant, I thank you, Lord, for that. And just ask that you look over all of them and anything that's going on. I know it's a stressful time right now for a lot of people and the world. So I ask that you just help those that's in need, even if you need to give a little bit of, I can say this very safely, give a little bit of the thankfulness that me and John Boy got here to the ones that really need it. And I ask that in Jesus' name I pray. Amen.
Amen.
What is up, guys, and welcome back to the Rooted and Rising podcast. This is episode 57.
Yep.
Arkansas has flipped from summer to winter with no fall in between. It's 30-something degrees outside right now. We got the little heater going in here and the little crib.
Yeah.
If you don't know anything about this podcast, my name's Dylan Turley, and that's John Boy over there. We like to talk about getting better and following Jesus. Mm-hmm. And if anybody ever wonders how John Boy's doing, we ask him every time how he's doing.
Yeah.
He gives us updates
on
how life is banging or banging him up. That's it. All right, John Boy, you got the floor. How you been doing, dude?
Woo! I don't know. Been a lot of up and downs type stuff. Friday, it was weird. Everything was going good. Things were chilling. Friday was Halloween. I'm not a big Halloween guy. I don't really care that much about that, but just hanging out was cool. But then turned bad. Drive home, I was like, it was rough. Not good.
Why? In the mind, something happened.
I don't know. It was just,
no shotties out in Halloween?
It was just sad. I'm just driving home, and it was like hella depressing.
Interesting.
Yeah. So that was interesting. Thought about all my dogs, a.k.a. my boys.
Oh, I was about to say, how many dogs you got?
No. Not my... But
not my four-legged friends.
My DAWGs.
Yeah. My DOJ.
But
Department of Justice.
yeah. But I was like, I was thinking about, my people and whatnot, and I was like, Either way, got home, didn't really get up to anything cool. But by Sunday, we started rocking and rolling again.
Nice.
And we really flipped it all around.
Right on.
Yeah, pretty legit. I've actually had some really cool ideas, but crazy ideas.
Let the people know what you got.
Man, I don't know. I found a new YouTube channel with a guy I've been watching more passively, but every once in a while I'll watch like an actual video I'm super interested in. It's called Murphy's Diesel, if you're curious. But he's got like an off-road recovery business and stuff, which is super sick because it's an awesome truck. I'm big into trucks and whatnot. And recently I've been on a big tow truck kick.
Interesting.
Well, I happen to have access to a tow truck. And it's really got me thinking about fixing this tow truck up.
Do it.
I'm on a whole...
Like, what's holding you back?
It's technically, I don't own it.
You just said you did.
No, I said I have access to one.
Oh.
Yeah. Don't own it, but I have access to one. But I got to talk to my guy, my tow truck guy, a.k.a. my dad.
Gotcha.
See if we don't get that sucker pulled out and get her tuned up.
Yep.
I think it'd be sick.
Battery, a little bit of gas in the car, and you're ready to rock.
Yeah. But I don't know. I've just got some different ideas with that and life. We're closer than ever, and I've talked to a lot of people, And I think I finally decided, like, what's the best route for me?
Cool.
After all the back and forth and all these mini plans that I've schemed about, I think we've finally come to a conclusion.
Cool.
So, yeah.
Right on.
That's all been good.
Right on. Well, let me ask you. Have you been?
Yeah.
Would some say
Yeah.
you've been in the flow state
Recently.
with the house?
Shout out to my brother if he watches this. He knows what that's all about. Shy and awkward guy. Look him up.
That's his name?
That's his,
on Instagram?
That's his Instagram handle.
That's
he
hard.
hits the whistle.
That's hard.
Oh, my gosh. I love this. He's got the quickest bite.
What's that mean?
He'll open up.
Trying to figure out. Did I have a bug on my head?
Gee, I don't know.
It felt like I did. I saw a bee flying around here just a minute ago, so I thought it just landed on my head.
Yo, that was too good. But like imagine
if you didn't see one, then I'm probably good.
I didn't see one.
All right, cool.
But imagine like you take a pickle out of a jar and he goes real quick, takes a bite, fastest bite you'll ever see.
Interesting. He likes pickles.
He likes all kind of pickle stuff. I seen him eat some okra, some green beans.
Gotcha.
I've been watching a lot of weird videos.
About your brother?
No.
What have we been talking about this whole time?
Shout out to my brother. He knows the Shy and Awkward guy. Not personally, but when I hit the whistle.
That's what I was saying. Your brother's Instagram handle is not Shy and Awkward.
No.
That's what I thought you were saying.
Oh, no.
I got you.
He just knows the, because that's what the guy hits.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
All right. Well, so something that I've been wondering lately.
Yeah.
And I know it's big in the tactical world, but it's also big in like just everything.
Mm-hmm.
Is what does it truly mean to like be in the flow state? Some people's heard that before. It's like you're just nonchalantly doing everything because it's like you've almost been trained at this point to just keep going through it.
Yeah.
So I wanted to ask you, obviously nobody else is here, or the crowd if you want to comment, we're all about the comments here, is when you hear the word flow state, like what's the word or what's the thing that you think about when you hear that? Or maybe a moment you have had it.
I think about when you're like so in the groove, whatever it is you're doing, that like you're not even like really thinking, I guess is the best way to put it. You're just like going through and just knocking it out. And I feel like I've been in and out of some flow state recently. I have moments where I jump in and I'm really just going through the motions kind of, but not exactly because I'm knocking it out at like a good pace, you know, whatever the task is at hand. But then, boom, I come back out of it. I got, something either pulled me out or I got something else to go do. But it's about where you're almost not even thinking. It's like muscle memory kind of.
Right.
And you're just cruising right on through whatever the task is at hand.
I wonder if there is any merit, because there's like some people that say when they're in it, they can't remember it. And it's like today I realized I was in it. Like I was making phone calls, I was doing emails, and it was just like this all happened.
Yeah.
But I remember it. It's not like I'm just completely zoned out of the thing.
So that's something I was about to say, because I feel like there is a difference there. Because everybody's guilty of this. I'll admit it real quick. You ever be driving somewhere, like home?
Yeah.
And you're in such a state of thought or whatever it is that's got you like not focused as far as like paying 100% attention to the road, but you still got home. There's like,
Right.
But there's a part of the trip where you're like, oh man, I don't remember driving past the DG I drive past every day. What was I thinking about when I went past DG? You know what I mean?
See, I would call that different than flow state, though.
I think, well, that's what I'm saying. I was separating that out because if that's where I'm saying like you've like blacked out everything else.
Yeah, for sure.
That's not a flow state to me.
Yeah.
Like that's blacking out. That's like I'm so lost in my thoughts that I don't even recognize what's going on around me.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay.
Whereas
so
a flow state, I think you're aware.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question to you is flow state just a mental thing, or can it be a spiritual thing too?
I think it could be both.
Yeah, I do too.
And so on that,
yeah, dive in a little bit.
like, let me give two examples where they're separate, and then if I can come up with one in between that, I'll bring them together. even though the second one probably ties into the first one. So let's go in. So the first one, whether it's a mental state versus spiritual, is that what we said?
No, I'm just asking, do you believe that it could be one or another, or do you believe it could be both?
I think it's both because like there's a time when like I go to the range. Like I got to shoot guns yesterday, one of my favorite things. And brother, I get in a freaking flow and things are just firing in my brain and I'm helping. I was shooting with somebody else and I was helping give some direction for the task at hand. We weren't working on like accuracy or anything yesterday. We were just trying to get like a more feel for guns, right? And man, it's just like I am locked in and we are just boom, 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 boom. Everything is just one after the next.
Right.
Really getting dialed in on the task at hand. And that was very much like a mental side of it. It was just like, that's me honed in on that situation, getting the proper results. I had an end goal. Mm-hmm. And so I got in the flow state and we got there. Mm-hmm. Which also helps because like it was pretty cold out. I ended up shooting well into it being dark, and so it doesn't matter. Your hands are cold. You're just gonna you're locked in. You just boom boom. You're going through the motions. Mm-hmm. Versus whenever I'm gonna bring it up again. Here we go. But when we went to watch The Chosen together as a friend group, which was awesome, that was like a spiritual flow. Like I felt connected with my friends. Mm-hmm. I felt connected with God. I felt really connected with other people spiritually, I think. And it was like, it felt like things were moving in my life like on his time, not mine. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so that was very much more of like a spiritual flow state because it was like, I know that I've got these times dedicated to spend that time with like my friends, but it's got like a purpose, right?
Right.
That's spiritually based. And that, I think, sharpened my focus those 3 weeks, I think it was, every day. I felt like I'm waking up, I'm locked in. I'm excited. You know, we're going to walk that line all the way until we're going to watch the show together, and then we're going to do it again next week, and we're going to do it again the next week. And it was just like that was like the longest state of flow I think I've been in that aspect, as far as like spiritually, just really dialed in for like 3 weeks.
Gotcha.
Yeah, and I was really, it was feeding me so many ideas. I had so many ideas just from being in a flow state all the time, spiritually, feeling super based and grounded. Mm-hmm. So,
cool.
And does that answer?
Yeah. I'm trying to think. I've definitely been in like a flow state when it comes spiritually. For whatever reason, I don't feel like I was that way during The Chosen, even though I love The Chosen more than anything else ever. My spiritual thing is like, but probably whether like while I'm reading it or even like listening to music. Like if I listen to, like I've been listening to this music lately, it's really weird name, but it's called soaking music, but it's like Jesus soaking music. Yeah. And I don't mean like the soaking the Mormons do.
Okay.
Not that. But it's like worship music, but it's just music. There's no singing or whatever, and you can just sit there. And it's like 3 hours long on YouTube. So I just sit there and I find myself that helps me get in a flow state that is spiritual, but it's also connected to the mental. Like there's times where like I'm in the gym and I'm not in it, but I can pop that music on and I'll get in it, but I'm in it for a different reason. I'm not in it for, I'm going to try to do this to be the best that I can be. It's like I'm going to do this because the ability that God's given me to be able to do this. And then somehow, after, if there is a time in the future where someone's like, well, Dylan, how'd you get that strong? Or how'd you do it that way or something like that? That my first thing that's already iterated in my mind is that because God gave me the ability to be able to do this. And then I can go on and do it and everything. So, yeah, I was trying to think on it, the questions, because I wrote all these down.
Yeah.
And like one of the next one was, do you think like God designed us to experience the flow as part of like the worship and or just work in regular anything in regular life? Like, at what reason is that beneficial to us that he puts that in there? Because some people are going to argue with us and they're going to be like, no, you should not be in the flow state. You should just have discipline to be that way all the time. But in a real world, that does not happen.
Right. Well, and I mean, I should think I feel like I should make it noted that you're not always going to be in the flow state either.
No, not at all.
Even like if you're a pro, you're going to have off days where like you're relying on muscle memory.
Yeah.
It's not going to just be like flow state, just like, oh, I'm just going to boom, 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 boom. Everything went my way. I just ran through it perfectly, whatever it is,
Because that will take, whether it's spiritually, mentally, physically, anything.
Yeah.
This is like a reason why I disagree with David Goggins on so many things. You can't keep going forever. That's not how life works.
Right.
Just cut that.
Nice.
You can't.
Yeah.
It's not physically possible. Mentally, it's just like when me and you go to those the self-improvement things that me and you, the courses.
Yeah.
Me and you would literally both text each other after that and be like, dude, I'm exhausted. And you didn't do anything but sit in a chair and just talk the whole time.
Yeah.
It's mentally. Now, I've experienced it in the past of you sitting through like a church session and then you get out of that and you're like, dude, I'm wore out. And it's not that you're like disobeying God that you're wore out, but it's just that you've thought so hard on this to try to make all this stuff work together to where it's not always going to be that way.
Yeah.
And there is a certain importance of discipline that I also think God gives us
100%
in all kind of part of life.
Yeah, and let me say something about that real quick, about David Goggins and stuff, because I was listening to my boy Chad Wright talk to Nick Bear from BPN, and he said, please tell these people that it's not all mental fortitude. Like he's like, there's a lot of people that need that, and thank God for people like David Goggins, who's getting people who have like zero discipline. Like, that's a lot of the stories I've heard, are people who like they needed to find some discipline and they found it through like listening to some of his stuff, and it's like turned their life around. That's fantastic.
Yeah, it's awesome.
But as far as like actually like the stuff he does, he's an athlete.
Yeah, for sure.
He trains every single day.
Yeah.
He's running over 20 miles a day up in like mountainous terrain, I think is where he lives. But either way, like these guys who are doing this crazy stuff are putting in work.
And another thing, let me tell you, all these guys that are doing this crazy stuff, they're rested. At some point they are. They're lying to you if they're telling you they're not. You have to or you will die.
There are certain people who have literal medical conditions where they don't have to rest as much as other people.
Oh, yeah, I'm not saying you have to rest
That's
as much
a
as other
very
people.
slim percentage.
But there's no way you're running 24 hours and then you're going to run another 24 hours as effective as you were running the first 24 hours.
Oh, no. And
it's not possible.
The more you watch that stuff, the more you learn about that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like,
Just I have a problem with people claiming that you don't rest.
Right.
That's the problem I have.
Right. Well, yeah. I get what you're saying. It's extreme on both ends.
Yeah.
But as far as the original question, I thought it is important to cover that there is times where you're just not going to be in a flow.
Yeah, for sure.
You know what I mean? Even if you're like a flow guru.
Yeah.
You're going to have some off days.
Yeah, well, that's why it falls back to why discipline is really important.
Yeah.
It's because there will be times where you don't want to do stuff.
Oh, yeah.
And then you have to find some way to be able to muster up and do whatever it is. I mean, there's times where people don't want to go to work, but you got to go to work.
Yeah.
There's times where you don't want to go to the gym, but you probably need to go to the gym. There's a time where you probably don't need to eat that cheeseburger, and so don't eat the cheeseburger.
Yeah.
You're going to fail.
Yeah.
And think about it as a whole experience. Imagine if you didn't get forgiven for your sins. You're going to fail no matter what.
Oh, yeah.
And we just happen to have a God that's so good that he will forgive you for your sins. So think about how hard life could be if it wasn't. Because then every time you eat a cheeseburger, you gain a pound of fat or whatever it is.
Well, and so to the original point of like why is it like? Do you think he gave that to us, and what's the importance of it? Like, why do you think he might have, give you the ability to go into a flow state? Well, I think there's a few reasons. Like, I know there's been times where like I'll do something with, like you, let's say, like I come to the farm for I don't know, for me probably just because I enjoy hanging out, but we working on some stuff, and we get in a flow, and we're jiving, we're knocking it out. Well, I think that's good because it allows you to like get in a groove to really be getting stuff accomplished, but there's also a little bit of room in there for like extra stuff. So like if me and you are having a good conversation and we're stretching fence, we can be in a flow where it's like, all right, let's hook this up, let's grab that, let's do this, blah, blah, blah. And then like once we've got like the pattern down of the job at hand, all right, now we just start talking. And then everything else is happening in a flow state. You grab the, or we hook it up to the truck and we stretch it out, and you're like, all right, it's good tension. Then boom, we start tying it up or we wrap it around the main pole, and then you go and you put all your fence ties along the T-posts, and we're not talking about that.
Right.
You're not having to, hey, put me one here, hey, put one there, and I'm like, hey, you forgot this, hey, you forgot that. You're in a flow state of work, and so now we don't have to focus on the work so much as the conversation. So, like, they can both happen simultaneously because you're just in a flow state.
Right.
And I think that is probably one of the reasons he gives you that as like something that you can get into, you can access that flow state, so that you have the ability to knock out whatever it is you're needing to knock out, but also it gives you that room for thought, or that room for conversation, or that room. There's a little bit of room in there, I think, for whatever. Maybe you are at the range and you need a little bit of room for like just processing what's happening, what you're seeing, what you're doing. You're in a flow state, things are going good, you're keeping up with whatever your standard is on the range, but you're like, okay, I think I'm going to overdrive, so let me correct that, or whatever.
Right. So, I'm trying to think of like the like motivational speakers and preachers have a really good way of getting into a flow state, because it takes a good amount of skill to be able to retain people's whatever you want to call it, attention. Yeah. And listening to, well, of course there is the preachers out there that sound like motivational speakers, but I think of the flow space a lot when I listen to like a really, really good preacher, because it's on the backbone of them researching the Bible and them also having the faith that God will talk through them and be able to relay the message good enough. And there's sometimes you listen to those one preachers and you're like, dang, you're like, this dude nailed it. And not everybody picks up the same flow state either.
Right.
And that's why I always encourage, go try a bunch of different churches if you're looking for a church, because it doesn't matter if your buddy likes it or not. It matters what you're getting out of it.
Right.
And hoping and understanding that the preacher is just a man at the end of the day too, that's just trying to help his friends and family get to the Lord as well.
Right.
He's not perfect by any means.
Yeah.
I would actually say it probably gets harder when you start trying to climb those levels, because people also start expecting something out of you on that end.
That gave me a good thing that I thought through as far as like everything I just said plus what you just said. I think like a good way to like pinpoint what I was exactly meaning is the flow state allows you to be aware, I guess, but you're also getting whatever the task is at hand done. Does that make sense? So like if you're a preacher and your job is to preach, so you got to get that task at hand done, but it also allows them to have a certain level of awareness. That's something I've noticed about like at least preachers who do like with like big congregations or any kind of congregation versus there's some that just there's different kinds out there.
Yeah.
But if you go to like a church with a congregation and they're able to read, they can read the audience. So they're in this flow state and they're going and they're like, okay, I need to give them a little bit more oomph, a little bit of tempo. I can see, half the room's not really feeling it. And then they pick it up a little bit and they're like, okay, now everybody's feeling it. Okay, boom. And then, all right, let's keep going with this. And it's like, all right. And they normally have a point to get across. And they're like, okay, it looks like, yep, everybody's shaking their heads. Yes, I'm noticing a lot of people are agreeing with what I'm saying right now. And I'm holding their attention. Everybody's looking up at me for the most part, It allows you that room for awareness as well as getting the task at hand done, because you're flowing, you're just going through it. Because I think if you're just going through the motions, like the same thing as like when I was talking about earlier, if you're driving home and you black out, you don't even remember, a mile of your drive, same thing. If you get on stage and you just black out and you don't see anybody, then you better hope that you're a fantastic speaker.
Yeah, for sure.
Because if you can't read the room, the crowd, you may lose everybody.
Yeah, for sure.
You may have 80% of the people out there reading their text messages.
Yeah. And you got to be able to retain the audience, and you also have to be able to retain yourself.
Yeah.
Because there will be times where you're in a flow state with, it could be anything.
Yeah.
And there might be a moment to where you need to get out of that.
Yeah.
Like if I'm sitting there grinding away at work, and somebody's like, "Hey, dude, it's time to go."
Yeah,
it's like, I need to figure out a way to be able to see that that it's time to pull out of this.
Yeah,
and because like a lot of people's like, don't stop me when I'm in my flow state or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, if you're always in your flow state, in the end, technically, you're not getting any better, because the thing that makes anybody get better is you fail, and then you start back up again.
Right.
And then you just do the other over and over and over and over again. And I can't remember who it is, but there's somebody out there that's like, the failure is like the one main learning block versus anything else.
And I would challenge, though, like if you're working a lot of OT, a lot of extra time, or you're putting a lot of extra time into work, and it requires you being in a flow state for like long periods of time. Like you put your headphones on, you put your soaking music on, and that's what gets you into this flow state. And then you're just in there grinding away, and next thing you know, you're working like double the hours. Then I would question, how much are you really accomplishing during the time that you should be accomplishing it?
Right.
Like if they think the job should take a 9-hour period, and you can't get it done in 9 hours, like every single day you're doing this, you're spending 12 hours a day or more, then, like, I don't know, like there should be some flags there. You may be in a negative flow state. Like that may be taking more away than it's giving you.
Yeah, for sure. That you end up getting stuck at it.
Yeah.
So one thing that I was with everything, I like to find the things that enter the causation, so you can also figure out what happens on the effect side.
Yeah.
I've always been so interested in that. If I need to get from here to there, what's the steps that I need to figure out? So I wrote down just a handful of things that I was sitting here thinking of, habits that help you enter the flow state if is needed to get into one. And the first two things kind of go along with each other. I put prayer and thankfulness, but I also put / quiet time, but it also goes perfectly along with the second one, is eliminating distractions from anything else.
100%.
Because Alex Hormozy, he's a guy that he writes books about business, finances, stuff like that. He's owned a bunch of businesses at this point, him and his wife both have. And I remember talking to Ron about this, and it sounds psychopathic, but for me it would actually work. His office for the longest time was a closet that had no windows, nothing hanging up on the walls, just had a bench and his computer, and that's all he was. And he would talk about, to this day, if he needs to get more work done than ever, he just sits in that room. He says, because there's no distractions. He says, I don't listen to music. I just sit there and I dial it in. And I know that may not be for everybody, but
Right.
I have realized for me that's true because I think about it when I'm doing laundry. If I turn a song on or I listen to a podcast, dude, I'm focused on that. I'm not doing my laundry. It takes forever. It takes literally 10 minutes later versus me being like, I'm not doing this. This is the task. I got to get this done. And then I seem like I can get it done a lot faster.
I think it depends on the type of people. My brain doesn't work that way.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's why, like, sometimes I struggle with desk work because I'm very much like there's times where I, like if I was to do desk work, I would need something more like you're talking about. I would need to be able to sit down with less distractions and really focus. But I need something, though. There's got to be a little bit of chaos.
Caffeine.
Is what I call it, yeah. Love me some coffee.
Yep.
But that's why I think I thrive in certain environments where there's a certain level of, like, busyness as well as chaos or stress. Sometimes I can really
elaborate because I'm not like this and I don't understand it. Because if I want to get work done, like I said, I go in my office, door shut, phone not sitting there, locked in. If you want to talk about how much work Dylan can get in one time, that's it.
Well, for me, the thing is like, let's say everything is going crazy at work and I've got to get everybody on the road like right now, and we're all going different directions, and we've got a bunch of stuff that needs to get pulled to, like, ship out and stuff too. Okay. Easy. My brain instantly goes into what's number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5, and it just plans that out. I just think it takes a split second for me, and I think through everything, and then boom, you just start doing it in that order. And it's like there's so much going on. I got the guys running around everywhere. Everything's going on. And but because all that's happening and and it's super busy, I'm able to go, here's the steps.
Say it's okay, I understand what you're saying, but I'm thinking a little bit different. Say it's just you.
Yeah.
Just you.
Yeah.
All your guys are gone.
Yeah.
It's just you.
Yeah.
You need to get as much work done as possible.
Yeah.
How are you doing it?
Preferably, I'm going to put on some...
No, not preferably.
Yeah.
Optimally. You're trying to get done is Ron comes in there and says, I need you to see, I want to see how much work you can get done in an hour.
Yeah.
How are you doing it?
I would turn on some music.
Okay.
And then I would restrict access to myself. Yeah.
Yep.
That's the two main things.
Okay.
Those are my number one distractions. Other people, and sometimes it gets too quiet for me.
Gotcha.
Because I get way too curious. So the music is just something that drowns out the other noise. Like if I hear a car pull in or a car door shut or I have to. It's like it's almost like an impulse. It's just like, oh, I gotta go look. Okay.
Gotcha.
And that takes away from me focusing. Whereas like if I got the music blaring, it's just like keeping my mind busy while I'm doing my work, and I can just get the work done.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, cool.
As well as if there's limited interaction, then I don't have to worry. I could play some death metal or whatever comes on.
Yeah.
And I'm not like, oh, I don't want to miss Ann listening
right.
to this.
For sure.
Yeah.
The other one that I put, just because this is the kind of guy I am, is physical health and movement. Now, I also will say this, though. I have seen it recently go the opposite, like where I've done too much, and I can realize that, meaning I'm too wore out to do anything else.
Right.
Don't sleep that good. So there is a point to where there is too much. And I'm not doing this for a living.
Yeah.
Like I'm literally just doing it just to try to stay as healthy as possible.
Right.
So I definitely think that is there. We just kind of talked about this one a little bit. Is purpose and work driven.
Yeah.
So you have the goal, you have the purpose of what you're doing the thing for. You're not just sitting there doing it to do it.
Right.
You'll always get more work done when that's happening. And then I also write this one. This doesn't really. It seems like this maybe happens after the flow, but I also think it always ties into it is gratitude and thankfulness. I don't think in this world people are thankful enough. I don't think people understand that even. I'm not just saying if you live in America. I'm saying
in general,
anywhere.
Yeah.
If you get to wake up the next day and do whatever you want to do, or I'm not saying whatever you want to do, just doing life.
Yeah.
Like, that's another chance that you get to try to make it better.
Yeah.
And I know situations suck. I got that. But you're going to get through it a lot better if you're thankful for the little things that you have.
Yeah.
And everybody's going to be like, oh, Dylan says that just because he's got all this stuff or whatever. You ever think I get this stuff because I'm thankful for it?
Well, and I would challenge anybody. Instead of saying something hateful like that, find something to be thankful for
sure.
in your own life.
For sure.
And
you
it
know
could
what
be,
God loves hearing? Thanks.
Yeah, and you know what else? It's hard to have a bad attitude if you're being grateful for things.
Absolutely.
So.
Absolutely, dude. So yeah, that's the ones that I wrote down. So a couple of other questions that I was going to ask.
Yeah.
How do you reset when you've lost the flow for a long enough time to where you've realized it? So it's like, we'll just use an example. Not saying this happened. Let's just say an example. You were talking about The Chosen. Mm-hmm. And it's like, I used to always say, and this sounds terrible, but it's true. I wish it wasn't, but nobody's perfect. Like FCA, when we would go on these FCA trips, like everybody during the trip was just, I'm talking all for the Lord, all this other stuff. And I mean, it was awesome.
Yeah.
I mean, it's the coolest thing ever when you can see kids that may not be buddies with each other all surround each other in like prayer and stuff. This is the coolest freaking thing ever. But like a week goes by, and then some people slowly start to forget, and then another people slowly start to forget, and other people slowly start to forget. And this could be with anything. Yeah. And I'm saying like the example with The Chosen. I'm not saying like you were doing this. Yeah. I'm not saying anybody was doing this. I'm just saying an example. During those periods of time, you're in it. Like this is it. Yeah. How do you carry that on, the good flow, when there's such a higher chance that you're going to lose it?
I think it's going to depend, but for me, it's finding the next thing to help keep you in the flow. Yep. It's all about the next. It sounds like we're talking about doing drugs. It's all about the next high, but it's like it's all about the next thing that's going to keep you in the flow state. Right. So, at least for me, so you've got to try and recognize, something that could do that for you. Mm-hmm. Whether that means like, let's say spiritually, let's touch on that. Let's say you watch The Chosen with your friends. You're super invested. Yep. And you start going to church. Mm-hmm. Okay? And that's keeping you in the flow state. Let's say maybe you didn't go before.
That's good. That's a good one.
That could be a way to keep that going each week. And then let's say maybe that's not enough. Maybe you're going on Sundays and that's not enough for you. Maybe you need to start going on Wednesday nights. Mm-hmm. Okay? Or maybe that's not the route for you. Maybe you want to still keep the friends together, and you talk to a couple of these folks, and you say, well, hey, we love the show so much. What do y'all say about let's meet up and discuss like the actual scenes but in the Bible? Mm-hmm. Like let's find the actual stories, and let's read them and go over them. Mm-hmm. And let's do that on every Tuesday. And so now you're still getting that like, all right, I need to stay locked in. Mm-hmm. Let me read throughout the week, get some notes prepared. I'm going to be seeing everybody next Tuesday, and we're gonna. And
I know that this flow is a good one. Yeah, I know this is something that's consistently making me better, making me feel better. Being thankful for things. Yeah, that's definitely something that's the flow that you need to be chasing.
Definitely
is. I always think about the turtle in like Nemo. I can't remember what his name is, but
which one, the dad or
the dad? But he's always going with the flow, bro.
Yo, the always. EAC, man.
That's it. He's always going with it. So being able to find the good flow and try to get away from the bad flow, because if you think about it, say there's two flows. Yeah. one's going to flow you backwards.
Oh, yeah.
And the other one's going to flow you forwards.
Oh, yeah.
You want to be able to stay in the kayak that's going forward.
Yeah.
As much as you can.
Mm-hmm.
So I definitely do think when it comes to anything,
Yeah.
find the next thing. It's what we talk about on here all the time. Find the next thing that makes you better.
Yeah.
And that's the thing that you need to go after. And it's not going to be easy. We always rep that on here.
Yeah.
It's not going to be easy.
Yeah.
The higher you climb, the harder it gets. So just understand that and be looking forward to that. Because the times you fall out of your flow state, that's when it falls back on the discipline that we were talking about. That's when you're like, okay, I know this makes me better. I know going at the gym makes me healthier. I know not pulling up the private tab on my phone is going to make me better.
Yeah.
So you got to be able to find a way to eliminate the distractions and use, we say Jesus, but anybody, you can say whatever you want, to be able to develop you onto the next step.
Yeah, this reminds me of and I would try to maybe even encourage a little bit of this, using some positive reinforcement to help maybe keep you in that state of flow. I mean, there was another time whenever I think it was just maybe a little bit before I went to help my brother out for a month. He was needing some assistance due to military stuff, and so
keep going. I'm already wrote down the idea for the next pod.
Okay,
keep going.
And so I go and I stay with him for a month while they have obligations, to the country, and so yada yada yada. But I can remember being in a flow then, and I was like, that I remember losing it and being like, dang, how'd I lose it? Well, I think I got to the point where I was maybe taking for granted how much joy and how much growth and positivity and happiness I was experiencing during that. And it gets to the point where it's like, okay, I've been doing this for a little over a month now or whatever in this flow state. And instead of picking a proper next step, finding the next thing and positively reinforcing what I just did and how good it made me feel, I kind of just lost it. And it was like, You're like, And you just, it took more time to get back up to that feeling of being really making progress for me spiritually at the time. It was like I was reading my Bible and it was like, man, I felt like I was reading more and I was understanding at a better level, and I was really picking it up good. And then I lost it because I think I should have been reinforcing and telling myself. People say that's dumb. I've actually heard a lot of people though recently that say how good it is to sometimes give yourself a pep talk.
Oh yeah, I'm with you. I do that all the time.
And so that's the stuff I should have been doing. I should have been like, John, this is what you need to be doing. This is good stuff.
Yeah.
You were on the right path.
Yeah.
Versus being like, all right, today I'm going to be disciplined. I'm going to wake up. I'm going to do this today. And this is how I'm going to end my day. And I'm going to, I want to read this much today, and I'm going to freaking soak it in. And after I did that for a month or whatever, it kind of got to the point where it's like,
of you not doing it.
Of me doing those things, but not telling myself how good it was.
Oh, got you.
After about a month, I got to the point where it was it was just the discipline that's driving me.
Yeah.
It's just me every night being like,
right.
All right.
Here we go.
I need to read this.
Yep.
I need to go to bed. I'm freaking tired.
Yep.
Or I'd even got to the point at one point where I'd laid down. I'd been in bed for 10 minutes. I was about to fall asleep. And it shocked my body awake when I realized the discipline hit me. It was like, boom.
Yeah.
And I got out of bed, I turned the light on, read, and then went to sleep. But it's I should have been dude, that's the level of discipline we need.
That's right.
It shouldn't have been, it's freezing cold.
Yep.
I'm freezing cold right now.
Yep.
Let me just read as quick as I can. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, that falls back to just being thankful. That, hey, I know I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to this, and now I'm taking it for granted.
Mm-hmm.
It's like the people that what is that? There's a picture meme about it. It's like there's a guy walking down the road, and he's like, "Man, I wish I had a car." And then it's like the person behind him's in a wheelchair. It's like, "Man, I wish I had legs." And you're like, everybody wishes for something else, but nobody's normally thankful for the stuff they already have.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if we're in a world where people are thankful for that as much. Like how often do you hear, besides like me and the other friend group, that's like, I'm thankful for this. It's like not out of your normal-ish group.
Mm-mm. Not often.
And I think it should be that way. And then, like I said, people's going to argue and say, well, my life sucks. Well, at the end of the day, you're the one that gets to choose that.
Mm-hmm.
Not all the ways, not 100%. I understand if you're 16 and you're like, well, my parents are terrible, you can't leave. I mean, I understand that. But if you keep being thankful for something,
right,
that will be a superpower at the very end, because you'll get to a point to where nothing really upsets you.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah, you don't care about losing because you already won the main battle.
Yeah.
So you got to keep on doing what you're doing and get in the flow state as much as possible.
100%.
On the good things, not the bad things. Let's see if I got any other notes here. So we're getting a little bit closer to closing time. So I wanted to first I have a challenge, and then after that I wanted to say a couple verses that I think may slightly tie into this. The flow state. Now we're talking about with Jesus at this point. My challenge, everybody listening, is this week find one moment to slow down, silence distractions, and let yourself flow in whatever you think God's calling you for. Not what you want to be for, what God's calling you for. And if you don't believe in God, just whatever it is that you think.
Whatever, I guess, if you don't believe in the big guy,
whatever
it is that you think you should be doing.
Believe in yourself.
Yeah.
We always say on here, and I freaking love this quote, you're the hero of your own book. So often sit back and think what the audience is reading and is like, what do they want you to do next? What are they sitting there being like, you need to be doing this or this? It's like when I'm sitting here watching like Avengers and I'm like, what's his name is about to do the snap at the very end of it. Is you're like, why don't you just give it back to the Hulk and let him do it again? And then, he'll just burn his other hand and then he'll be good.
Yeah.
But Tony Stark's the man. So anyway, that's my challenge to you guys. And a couple verses tie in this, and I'll butcher all of these because I can't speak well at all. Colossians 3:23. I want to get your opinion on these. Whatever you do, work at it with all your heart as working to the Lord. So anything that you do that you could be better at, work at it as hard as if you were trying to get closer to the Lord. Think on that one. That banger. I always say this wrong. Is it Galatians? Is that how you say it?
Yeah.
5:25. Since we live by the Spirit, let us keep in step with the Spirit. Not that you're running in front of it. Not that you're running behind it. You're running next to it. He's helping you run. It's a great comparison to this when it comes to marriage is Matthew McConaughey was talking on Chris Williamson's podcast. And Chris Williamson asked him, what's the number one way to make a marriage work? And Matthew said, sometimes you got to remember one might be running while the other one's walking. He said, just don't, if you're the one running, don't outrun the person that's walking because they're trying to make headway too. It just might be a little bit slower than you. And it'll be faster if you guys do it together. And that's the same way when it comes with the Lord. If I'm ever, especially me, if I'm ever going through something that sucks, there's two things I normally say. Number one, I can't do this without you, dude. I'm like, you're going to have to be there with me, and I ain't going to be able to do it. And then if it really gets hard, I'm like, Lord, I'm giving this all to you. You tell me give you all my burdens, I'm doing it.
Yeah.
And it doesn't fix it instantly most of the time, but there is some sort of ease to know that, hey, this dude's got my back.
Yeah.
And I'm going to make mistakes, and he knows it.
Yeah.
But I try as hard as I can every day and fail all the time, but I get to come back to him. If there's anything you want to say about any of these, John Boy, just jump in here. The last one I wrote down is huge if you're a Christian. I mean, it's wild to really, really dive deep in it. And some people say don't dive too deep. Don't dive too deep where you can't swim. I understand, because sometimes I dive too deep. But John 15:5 with John. John with John.
Yeah.
Apart from me, you can do nothing. Think about that. I actually don't think he's just flat out saying that obviously you can do stuff. Like, you're still here.
Right.
But he's the one that made us. And if he wouldn't, then we can't do anything. We're not here. We're dust or particles, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
So anybody that is Christian out there, be thankful for that.
Yeah.
Because you could be dust or particles.
I think that goes for everything, though. Like, when you look around and you look at your life, be thankful.
Yeah.
Because you don't have to have any of it.
No.
Like,
yeah, you're not obligated to any of that stuff.
What's given can be taken away.
That's right. That's right.
So,
and a lot of people, to a degree, would also be like, you're not even worthy of that. A lot of people think that. They're just like, man, I'm not worthy of this.
Yeah.
I have a whole other opinion on that. But you have to realize that if it wasn't for the big man, if you believe in the big man, we're not sitting here having this discussion.
Right.
Yeah, we're just not here. Yeah. So, but that's all I got for today. I thought it was a really, really cool discussion on the flow.
Yeah.
Is there anything, John Boy, you want to leave the people with?
What do I want to leave you with today? Find your flow state, and hopefully you've got a higher power, and find it with them. Preferably, we're biased. Find it with the Lord, but find it with Jesus. But outside of that, just work on finding that flow state and be appreciative for the things you have, and especially for the people in your life. I think that's something that's very overlooked.
Something I want to add on top of that, I was just thinking, we're in a world now where there's a lot of people that don't know what to do on a lot of different things. And I'm not saying this is going to fix that, because nothing will. It's almost like it gets more complicated every single day. But for the people that's out there trying to figure out what they want to do with their life, I think to a certain degree, sometimes God gives you the flow state to show what you could be doing. If there's something that you do have flow in and that you're good at, and I think that's something you may try to pursue.
That's a good point.
Because it may not be the perfect thing for you, but I would say if you're good at it, you're going to take more joy in it. And I would say be able to kind of strive towards that way. I think it's like, to get really deep, I think that's why God gives you dreams, because I think that's his inspiration to be like, dude, you can do this. He's the best friend you never had. It's like, dude, you can do this.
Right.
You just have to go after it.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't. I mean, there's a lot of things that I haven't went after. There's a lot of things I'm sure you haven't went after.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm not saying don't beat yourself up about it.
Right.
But realize that there's somebody rooting for you.
Yeah.
And even if you can't see him, if you can't hear him, I'm not one of those guys that think he sits there and talks to me all the time. I'm not one of them guys. But I do think he listens, and I do think he tries to point the way as best as he can for me to try to do it. And he doesn't want to make it easy for me because I got to learn as well. So if there is anything out there that you got to flow in, you might try to take a step towards that.
Definitely.
And see kind of where that it ends up taking you. Because it may not take you to where you want to go, but it might take you to a place to where another door might open. So, all right, guys, that has been a great discussion. Rooted and Rising podcast, episode 57.
Yep.
Hope everybody out there has a great night and kills the rest of the day.
Yep.
Find the flow in Jesus
and
in yourself. We're out, guys. Later.
Out.